Besides, Mintzberg individualized three different approaches, respectively the entrepreneurial, adaptive, and the planning one. A brief description of them is given below. Entrepreneurial mode. All the decision-making process focuses on one particularly charismatic individual who directs the corporation towards new opportunities, rather than one on the solution of problems according to his own values and vision. Amazon can be considered an example of such decision-making process. These strong entrepreneurial personalities of Jeff Bezos has completely changed how the internet market is structured, and because of his bold decisions, no senior executives have been part of his top management. Adaptive mode, it is based on a problem-solving approach, so we can define it reactive to existing problems rather than proactive for finding new opportunities. The strategy is fragmented in order to cope with the different problems and challenges at the same time, meaning that the pace of the growth within the corporation is slower and less striking than the one that characterizes the entrepreneurial mode. For example, generally speaking, public entities like hospitals, universities, and public administration usually belong to this category. They just limit their intervention to resolve existing problems without particular attention in improvement and innovation. The planning mode is the best strategy decided once at all the information concerning that specific situation are collected and all the possible strategies are considered, choosing at the end of the most feasible one. This approach can be considered as a compromise and the mix between the previous two alternatives. A practical example of such approach is IBM that, guided from its CEO, Gerstner, decided to invest in services that integrated information technology rather than in product, once he noticed that the sales were increasingly lowering. Besides, he decided to sell off to DRAM, disk drive, and laptop computer business and exit software application development. Since making this strategic decision in 1993, 80% of IBM's revenue growth has come from services. Logical incrementalism. This fourth decision-making model was elaborated later and tried to resume and take the best elements characterizing the other three models, meaning that as the entrepreneurial model there is a strong and charismatic person, but his strategy, rather than being formulated on his own, is elaborated and put in action through an integrative process. This implies a step-by-step strategy and the collaboration of the overall top management, where global strategies are, for this reason, most of the time discarded and debated. Discussion and experimentation is rather preferred. In this way, a broad consensus is created between the management and the employees of the corporation, as they are directly involved. One example of such model could be also the one adopted by the corporations that elaborate the mission and the values at the central level and later give the opportunity to each business unit of elaborating and proposing strategies on their own at local level.
Far from being an exhaustive explanation of how the strategic management works, has the main objective of addressing the young entrepreneurs in the business world with at least the theoretical instruments necessary for implementing their basic knowledge. It has to be remembered, in fact, that several external circumstances from the country in which the company operates to the allocation of its resources, included the central background, are all ever-changing key aspects that have to be taken into account. And for this same reason, the practical experiences go well behind the theoretical framework furnished.
Strategic management helps to find the best solutions in such dynamic environment, identifying what are the elements that play a crucial role and what are the ones that change relating to the first ones. Between these key elements, the human resources and its ready adaptability to new contexts is the most important one. This is why a proper formation between the young generations today is necessary for good management tomorrow.